this is Carlene, and welcome back to part 2 of how to make a paper flower valance. So no, I'm not confused right here. I am actually trying to figure out how to position my foam board because I want to make a focal point. I want to have my flowers cascading down at the center of this valance. So I'm just trying to figure out how to position the board to allow that. So now that I've figured it out, I'm just positioning my flowers and I'm going to adhere them to the foam board with the use of hot glue and the glue gun, and using a chopstick to position them in the right spot. These are purple or lavender colored flowers. If you, like I said, if you saw part 1, you would have seen how I made it. So part 1 was about how I made the flowers. Now mind you, there are a lot of YouTube channels with a lot of beautifully made flowers. This is just how I make mine. So I like to use a chopstick to stick into the corners to make sure they get to where I want it to go in the right position, and I use gentle pressure to cause it to adhere to the foam board.
Just using this to stick into the corner.
I always like to position whatever I'm working with, I like to always position it first so I don't make a mistake. So before I do it permanently, I adhere it permanently, I position it, and then I'm actually sure that that's where I want it. So I fiddle around a lot. The chopstick is a really great tool. You don't need to buy a lot of things. Sometimes just around the house you have a lot of tools you can use, or things you can use as tools to help you with the projects that you're trying to make. The scrap foam board, well actually it's scrap foam board that I used, and I always save my foam board. There's amazing things you can do with scrap foam board and cardboard. So many things you can make. So for this project, I used the same type of flower. All the flowers in this project, they're all the same.
Whatever little holes you have, you can cover it up with these extras.
And so I used little smaller pink flowers made from cardstock to act as the accents. And I also use them for covering up areas that have a hole in it. And sometimes you may want to use more than one glue at certain different points of the same flower to allow it to stick the way you want it to. Like for instance, right here, I needed it to open up some more, so I had to put more glue, just like that. The glue gun and the hot glue work very well, and the hot glue works very well. It is actually quite compatible with the foam board. Like, it really sticks very well. It's not everything that a hot glue is compatible with.
So I'm almost finished. This is what it looks like without being finished. Now, what I've done with this is in order to be able to store it, I've scored it so it's half of the whole entire. So it's one piece and another piece. It's divided because I don't want to have to store it in such a large size. So I cut it in half. I'm not finished this part yet. I have to cut it along there. And so I just kind of randomly placed the pink roses so that the eyes can be dazzled, so it's not just in one spot. And I didn't want to be symmetrical. I wanted to have some aspect to it where everything's not balanced. So that's what I did. And so just pink and purple roses of different, just pink and purple roses. And have some space in between. And that's just what it's supposed to look like, the designs. It's like a wedding kind of design. And that's it. So I just have to fix up the last piece here, and I'm kind of good to go. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. So next what I did, because I have to cut this. I have to cut this off. Okay, cut the excess off. And so I removed it from here, and I try to follow a pattern. Drew some lines at the back by looking at the front. I drew lines at the back, and I'm going to cut it from the back so that it's still going to stick. Still going to be able to stick on, and you won't be able to see this piece. So I'm going to go and try and do that now. Okay, so I did it. I cut it off. So this piece is going to be attached up to the top of my flower valance. And so I cut it off. This is what I have left. Cut off the bottom. So what I did was I cut off the bottom around the flower. It doesn't have to be exact because you're not going to see it, right? See if I can move back. See it. I cut it around above the flower so that the edges, the flower petals, are hanging over the edges, so that you move back this camera because so that the edges are above, so that you cannot see. You're not going to see the edges of the foam board. Okay, so then all I have to do now, this is how I would store it, right? And then all I would have to do now is take it above here and match it up. Okay. And if you have any open areas, you could just make smaller flowers and stick it into camouflage, hide the openings. It's not that hard to do. It's very easy. If you make areas, you can always cover that with smaller flowers, depending on the size flower you want, the size of the hole. Okay, so that's it. So I'll just give you a bird's eye view of it. Just one sec. Okay, so there it is. This is what it looks like now. And it looks so much nicer when the extra foam board is gone. Okay, so I'll just give you a, so as I said before, you have some opening in it because that's part of the design is to see those little purple stripes. Okay, that's it. And of course, it'll be hanging like this, so that's all you'll see. You're going to see, you're not going to be able to really see the back. Now, if I hang it up and you can see the back and it's open, I don't like it, I can always put flowers there or whatever else. I can put whatever I want there, right? Whatever looks good. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, and of course that's going to go on the wall. Okay.